fine.
He snuck in the top 10.
Mike's all in.
He snuck in the top 10.
Remember it. Welcome to Logic Land.
I forgot. No, sorry.
2 for 2 on Logic Land.
We'll go back
I'm
in the
your
bubble.
host.
We'll go back in the bubble.
Let him pick.
Good evening, degenerates, and welcome back. We are to another
back.
episode
Number 3
of Degen Hours
We're
Fantasy
running
Football
around.
Rankings. We are going through all the position groups. We've already covered tight ends. We've already covered quarterbacks. Now we're hitting wide receivers.
Great.
No, I'm kidding. We're hitting running backs.
Gotcha. We had you. We had
You got me excited
ball.
there.
I got you.
We
I
had
got
you in the first half.
We're saving
Also,
receivers
if
for
you,
last,
look
but
down,
this
you
should
would
be
see
an
it.
electric episode.
I mean, I
We
love running
always
backs.
have quite a bit of debate on the running back side of things. So I know a lot of running backs switch teams. They kind of just
a few.
It was like, the transfer
Couple.
portal in
lot
college
of
football.
transfer.
Everyone's moving everywhere else. So we've got a lot of changes to talk about. And I'm assuming everyone's going to be pretty consistent at the top. You got CMC still in the league. But we will find out. So let's get right into the action. Degen Hours running back rankings.
Switch it up, Sally.
All right, I'm going to kick us off
Kick
with
off.
the running back rankings.
Get outside.
Kick off.
We're doing top 10s.
Onside
Squib-
kick or just
squib
regular
kick.
kickoff?
Squib kick.
A long kick.
Oh.
Long
Deep.
This is touchback.
Touchback?
Very long.
Yeah,
touchback.
touchback.
Yeah.
He's going to
I know we're
the
doing
top.
top.
past the end
I know
zone.
we're doing top 10, and I know we're supposed to start with 10.
But.
He's starting with
But I'm
10.
starting with honorable mention.
Oh.
I couldn't put him in the top 10, but I think his ADP is criminal. Mike, stop reading my list. Just
All right,
listen
I'm
to
sorry.
what I'm saying.
All right, okay.
Well, he didn't make a list, so he's like trying to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
second.
that does make
You wanna
sense.
see my
Always very
list?
unprepared. No. Honorable mention, DeAndre Swift. His ADP is RB24. He just moved to Chicago, and I am in love. I think he's going to be a lot closer to 12. I was playing with him at the 10 number. Couldn't put him in the top 10.
Thank you.
But I think DeAndre Swift is extremely talented, and I think he's actually going to get an opportunity. The Eagles, they used a very big committee. I don't think the Eagles will anymore. I think they got Saquon pretty solidified. But
Saquon.
DeAndre Swift, I think they're going to rely on him quite a bit, especially in the passing game. So, quick honorable mention, I think he's value, especially he's RB24. You take him at 15, 16.
Value town.
I love that. I'd have him closer to 12. But starting number 10, Joe Mixon, Mr. Top 10 himself.
Mix it up.
He gets top 10 every single season.
Every year.
So,
He really does.
I couldn't not put him in the top 10. RB8 last season, and I love the fit with the Texans. I think they rely on him heavy. CJ Stroud's going to be moving the ball, that very high-powered offense. They're going to be in the red zone a whole lot. Lot of touchdowns for Joe Mixon. He will end top 10. So if you're drafting him at RB10, probably good bet because he's never, I think the last
upside.
5 seasons he's been in the top 10, or at least 4. 9, I have Derrick Henry. So he's old, but I think he can produce with Lamar. Some people are very, very mixed on Derrick Henry. Some people have him top 5. Some people have him not even the top 10. They're like, no, don't even worry about Derrick Henry. Lamar's going to take all the rushing. I'm somewhere in between. I think it can go both ways. He was RB5 last year, but for the first time, he won't be the singular focus of the offense. But on the flip side, the defense won't be just focusing on him too. So this is a very new scenario for him. He's always been on the Titans where it's like, only Derrick Henry, but he's getting the ball 28 times.
Yeah.
So I don't think he'll get as many touches, but the defense won't be as worried about him. So it could go both ways. I have him at 9. 8, Saquon. A lot. His
So
ADP
low.
is
So
much,
low.
much higher.
Way higher than that.
ADP's at 6.
Criminal.
I've seen some lists that have him top 4, top 3. Top 3 talent in the league, I will give you at running back, is Saquon Barkley.
Top 2 times.
In a vacuum, healthy, Saquon Barkley is him. I think he takes a lot of touches away from Jalen Hurts, but it's still the Eagles. They still have Gainwell, and they drafted a running back in the 4th round. That makes no sense to me. And I know you're going to say it's Shipley and I'm Clemson, so I'm focusing on it too much. I don't think I am. If you go pay a shitload for your RB1, you keep Gainwell, who was huge last season, he has been the last few years, and you spend a 4th round pick, which in the NFL is actually means something, on a running back. I mean, I'm not saying committee, but I'm not saying they're going to use those other two. They're going to be using
They'll use
the offense.
Gainwell.
I think Shipley's gonna get goal line stuff too. They'll run like a dual RB setting, I think, towards the goal line with the.
Why would he get goal line? Ever?
Well, it's the same thing they did with Gainwell. Same thing they did with Gainwell. Gainwell played in the red zone all the time.
But why wouldn't it just be Gainwell? Or Hurts?
That's what I'm
Saquon?
saying. It'll be Gainwell, and I think they'll put Shipley in that Gainwell role as well. I think they'll have like 2 RB2s and Saquon. And I think they'll interchange those two. I don't think there's value in drafting Gainwell or Shipley individually. But I'm saying I think they, Shipley maybe 2 or 3 touchdowns, Gainwell maybe 3 or 4.
Ooh.
So I think he takes away
I
from
think Shipley
everyone.
like 1 snap a game.
We'll see.
If that.
I mean, we'll see what
I
happens.
mean, like
All I'm
Saquon's
saying,
had injury. Like
why do you draft him RB4 then if you just sign Saquon to a long deal? or in the 4th round.
Injuries? maybe?
Yeah, injury.
Yeah.
Saquon has history of
But
injury.
they have
So if
they
he's-
have
So if he
Gainwell.
gets injured, yeah, but then he's
no
but
one
then
in the
you-
world-
then
Gainwell
you
can't
can-
be your sole back.
What team drafts a running back that high to be RB3? Just like an actual RB3 that's never played.
a team that is so solid already.
So
everywhere.
solid. Their defense was miserable last year. That's why
And
they
they
went and
bolstered
drafted
it. They got 2 great
That's what I-
cornerbacks.
I understand, but I'm saying they had holes all over the defense. You don't go draft a position you're already 100% solidified at in the 4th round. I'm not saying Shipley's going to be a key part of the offense at all. All I'm saying is I think if it was just going to be Saquon,
Maybe
riding
they plan on
Saquon,
having Saquon for 1-2 years.
they would have signed him to a shorter contract then. But whatever. I think Saquon, I think it's going to be slightly committee, not for the season, but just in scoring territory. Now, Jalen Hurts obviously takes away from him.
Love that.
Kyron Williams at 7. He was
I love
RB4
Kyron. No, I love it.
last year.
How many games did he play? Anyone know?
Love Kyron.
Last season?
Yeah, and it was RB4. Anyone know how many games he played?
12.
Yep. It's ridiculous.
That's insane.
That's
No, I was
absurd.
going to say he was
love
RB4
you,
last
Kyron
year.
Williams.
Rams leaned on him heavy when he was available, and I think that continues into this year.
100%.
I understand they drafted who they draft?
Blake Corum.
Blake Corum from Michigan. I know they drafted him. He will get touches. He will play.
Yep.
So I'm not a huge fan. I think they're going to mix it up because we know with the Rams, they are not committed to anyone at the
Nope.
running back position.
Yeah.
Todd Gurley, most insane season for them, starts to slow down production. Bye.
Yep.
Gone. Doesn't matter. Out of the league.
McVay prefers to use multiple weapons.
100%. And that's why he loved
Yep.
Kyron. I mean, they barely wasted any draft capital on Kyron, and he went out and clear RB1 on the team. I think it's a little bit not committee, but I think he'll play a little bit and take some away from Kyron. But Kyron's still your top 7. The Rams offense is electric. They move the ball quite a bit. Great receiving option, so I think he'll have some open
Only
holes.
receiving option.
Yeah.
Cornerback.
6, my boy Travis Etienne, wearing the jersey to represent. Last season, unbelievable. Best season he's had. RB3 in fantasy.
Yeah.
He was a fucking stud. The first 11 weeks when the Jags,
They
or through week
pounded
12,
the
when
shit out of
they were 8-3, they were winning games because Travis Etienne was going ballistic.
Yeah.
He was RB2 at the time, going fucking crazy. I mean, I love Travis Etienne. I've been saying since he was going into the league, I thought he was the best running back in that class by far. That's why I was bummed the Steelers drafted Najee Harris over him. He was selected with the next pick to the Jaguars. I'm obsessed with Travis this year. I think their offense improves drastically. Trevor Lawrence has a lot more receiving weapons. Should open up the holes for Etienne even more. He was literally all they had, and they started absolutely, buckling down on him towards the end of the season. The offense wasn't moving. Trevor couldn't throw. Etienne didn't run as much. But he was RB3 last year. I love him at 6 for this year. 5, Jonathan Taylor. Don't ask me why. I always need him in my top 5. I love Anthony Richardson. I love the Colts offense.
Well, if he's healthy,
Jonathan
he's a lock in
Taylor
top 5.
just always gets hurt, and he screws me every year I draft him, but I'm going to keep doing it because he's so talented. I put him in that arguable top 3 most talented running back, in a vacuum
He's
type thing,
unbelievable.
if
Yeah.
he's healthy, which he never is. But I like him at 5. He for sure has RB2 upside
One.
if he
won
plays.
2 years
Well,
ago.
yeah, I don't
Crazy.
know if he's going to actually outperform my RB1 ever, depending on if
Yeah.
McCaffrey gets hurt. But anyways, I like Jonathan Taylor 5. 4 is Breece Hall. He was RB7 without him. I think he can get to RB4 with him.
Yep.
Rodgers can be throwing the ball a lot, but even when Rodgers was playing, you look back to Green Bay. Aaron Jones is fantastic. They ran those multiple running backs. I really like out of the backfield as well his receiving options. I think he can get thrown the ball quite a bit. And I really like the Jets.
And he was on a snap count the first 4 weeks
No,
of the
he-
season.
I mean, getting RB7,
Everything against them, and he finished
getting RB7 with their
Upset.
team last year is crazy. Number 3, Jahmyr Gibbs. I love Jahmyr Gibbs this year.
You're going to have to call Dan Campbell for that one.
No, I will. I already talked to him. So Jahmyr Gibbs was RB10 last year, and his vulture counterpart, David Montgomery, was RB9. The Lions had 2 of the top 10 fantasy running backs.
They always do.
Wild.
They always do.
They always
They always have one that goes crazy.
I think this is the year they sort of change that. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Gibbs is more mature. I think you don't like to run a running back who doesn't have experience the entire game. You're more prone to fumble, more prone to mistakes. David Montgomery's the veteran. But you've seen what this team could do when Jahmyr Gibbs is on the field. They were just so much more explosive. David Montgomery has amazing numbers, but it's a lot of runs up the middle,
It's volume.
ground and pound, volume,
Yeah.
red zone stuff. When they have Gibbs on the field as a running, slashing, and wide receiving option, this offense was the most electric offense in the NFL. They were moving up and down the field. I think they start to lean on that more. I think he can be RB1 in fantasy, to be honest. I think he's one of the only running backs that actually has the potential to be RB1.
Young Alvin.
If he steals half the volume from Montgomery, which is a lot, I know, he would be RB1. If he steals half from last
They
season.
just paid Dave Montgomery so much money.
No, they paid him a
He
bunch.
did so
they're
well.
gonna run him, but I think they just lean on young legs more. And he has a little more experience, so they're not trying to put a rookie in those scenarios.
Definitely
So yeah, that's my kind of flyer bet I'm taking this year. Love Gibbs. Two very clear two for me in a category of his own is Bijan Robinson.
Gross.
So it's like all the people
Hook 'em,
below,
baby.
then
Gross.
Bijan Robinson
Hook 'em.
at two. That offense for the first time in a while is going to overdrive. Kirk Cousins, one of the easiest schedules in the NFL.
Oh yeah.
They're playing nearly no good defenses. They have Kirk Cousins, who is a passing threat. They've never had a passing threat on the Falcons. Bijan's entire
What
existence was centered around other teams putting, 7 people in the box.
Yeah.
They're not putting 7 people in the box with Kirk Cousins back there because you saw how people defended him on Minnesota. That's why Dalvin always had so many open lanes because they weren't guarding Dalvin. I get it. He had better receiving options at Minnesota, of course, but it's still Kirk Cousins we're talking about. He throws for 5,000 yards every single season.
You also have to realize Bijan is one of the greatest receiving backs in the league.
No,
One of the greatest.
he's one
One
of the
year,
greatest ever.
he probably wasn't top 10 in any receiving running back stat. But,
I mean,
Well, all I'm saying is I think, Bijan
not-
is
not
this is
true.
the
One of the
perfect
greatest Texas running backs.
Just no evidence to back
Rookie
that up.
Greatest
No, it's not
rookie,
true. Yeah, I-
Texas rookie.
I understand, Mike's Texas bias, and I know our bias against Texas. I'm trying to be semi-objective here, and I don't see a world, unless he gets hurt, which I'm obviously hoping he doesn't, where Bijan doesn't end a top 4 running back. I think it's
Thank you.
almost
See a lot of worlds.
I think it's almost impossible.
I actually see too many worlds.
No, I'm just saying if Kirk Cousins is
Y'all are
healthy,
stupid.
if this team just plays, their schedule is a cakewalk. They walk through this division. Bijan is not going to be the focus of the defense always. I mean, it's going to be amazing for Bijan. And number 1 is obviously Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
He's him. Don't need to say anything.
Yeah.
I will never make the mistake of not drafting him first if I have the first overall pick again. Fuck you, Justin Jefferson, for last year. But
yeah,
there's my list.
Love you, Jonas.
I love that.
Ryan, I know you kind of said whoa a couple different times in that list. I'm interested to hear what you have.
Just twice. It was a couple interesting ones. Number 10, my favorite pick, going to be pick of the whole draft, and I don't think anyone's going to have him. Zach Moss, on the Bengals.
Definitely
Him
not.
on the Colts was unbelievable. And you were talking about Joe Mixon finishing top 10 every year. I think Zach Moss runs purely better than Joe Mixon. I think Joe Mixon is more consistent. But as a pure runner, Zach Moss was unbelievable. And if the Bengals running back's going to finish top 10 every year, Zach Moss on the Bengals.
Oh, you're
personally-
saying it's Bengals running back finishing top 10, not Joe Mixon finishing top 10.
Correct.
Wow.
I'm sticking with that.
Interesting.
I think
I don't hate that.
I think Stroud's just going to... For Mixon, I just think Stroud's going to blow up. I don't think Mixon's going to get a lot. He'll get a lot of touchdowns. I don't know about a lot of
I
yards.
kind of like the thesis there.
But I love Zach Moss. Going to be a sneaky 10. My number 9, I have Rachaad White. A lot of people might not have Rachaad White also. He is so talented,
dog.
and the guy was on the worst statistical running offense in the entire league. And he finished I think 4th.
8th.
Or 8th.
RB8.
Yep.
Or it depends on what league you're playing. But
half PPR is what I'm referencing.
Okay,
Our
half.
league.
So
It's
full
half
PPR,
is
he was unbelievable
RB8.
receiving. So if you're counting full PPR, he was 4 or 5. But half PPR 8.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable on the worst rushing team. They got 2 offensive linemen. I think they're going to be better. They were the worst. So even a little better. He maybe goes from 8 to 6. I think it's value there.
Similar with the Falcons too. Bad division.
No,
I mean,
yeah,
easy schedule.
He was unbelievable. So I love him so much. Number 8, I have Travis Etienne.
Wow.
A guy I just think he's a stud. He has a lot of upside on him. I just think last year, I'm afraid of them putting too much on him. So I think they'll be smart. If they want to win games, he's got to be in the lineup. And I think last year they were just too much on him to start. And at the end of the year, you start to peel off. I know there were injuries and Trevor Lawrence is injured and stuff, but I just think they run him a little less this year than they did in the beginning of the year. But he's a stud. I mean, absolute freak. Then number 7, I have Jahmyr Gibbs. I don't think he's that. I think David Montgomery is unbelievably talented, and I think he earns the money he's been paid. He's been so good. He gets the yards per game. He's unbelievable. He scores the touchdowns when he needs to. He is a vulture. Splitting backs is tough, but I think Gibbs is so talented and so unbelievable with the ball that I think it won't matter. He's gonna get that top
7
10.
is a little low. 7
is a
They
little-
have him ADP 5, so I
Yeah,
went a
so
little high.
I like 7.
I went 2 above. You went 2 below. So
No,
I guess
that's
that
fair.
averages out.
Number 6, I have Saquon. The guy
So low.
that's
I mean, I am at 8. You must
No,
have
I
not
know.
like that.
I said that so
I
low
mean,
for
okay.
you.
just for starters,
So low for both of
in regular life, Jalen Hurts steals 50% of whatever you have on the goal line. If it is within the 3-yard line, Saquon will not be scoring touchdowns.
Yeah.
Even if you think it's going to be taken
He'll
away,
be pushing
they
Jalen
have
Hurts.
DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
I know DeAndre Swift isn't near as good as Saquon, but there's no reason DeAndre Swift shouldn't get the ball at the 3-yard line. Every single game, 3-yard line, it was a quarterback sneak. I don't think they change it. Why would they change it this year instead of every other
No
year?
one can stop
it. works every single time. Yeah. I think that takes away a lot. I'm still putting on running back 6. He's unbelievable talent.
That's high.
And also, Eagles have been known for their entire seasons ever to always run every single running back on every down. No
it's a huge rotation.
I know
that's what I'm saying about the committee.
No, I'm saying I know Shipley will be involved, but I'm just saying regardless who it is, even if it's just Jalen Hurts by himself, they just don't love to use a running back as much as they should. Correct. And I think Saquon is a 6 point just because he could go crazy. He's still unbelievably talented. At 5, I'm sick of the fucking disrespect from the world. Derrick Henry should be top 5 on every single list. No. He finished last year. You said 5. Yeah. 2 years ago he finished 4. I don't give a fuck about age. You were on the worst team ever. You had no quarterback play. You had one of the worst offensive lines in the league, and now you're going to the best running team in the entire NFL. This is just he's gonna go fucking crazy. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care anything. He went 4 2 years ago, 5 last year on the worst offensive lines ever. No offense, no quarterback play.
Are you worried about volume?
I mean, it could be so instead of 18 carry, which he's gone down way in volume. Tyja, what's his name? Tyjae Spears played a lot last year. So I think even his 15 touches he get a game, also his goal line. They're not getting Lamar hurt on the goal line. It's not like Jalen Hurts. Derrick Henry's getting the ball. He's going to have like 17, 18 touchdowns this year. Huge year. Number 4, Kyron Williams. Nothing to say. Absolute dog. Freak of nature. Love Notre Dame boy, right? Yep. I loved him last year. I'm gonna love him this year. Blake Corum is only a hardcore rushing back inside the 10. He's gonna be nothing else. Kyron gets every snap. Besides that, and Rams are gonna be much better on offense. Number 3, Jonathan Taylor, one of those players where if they're healthy, he's already finished RB1 before, like being healthy for one of his seasons. Yep. Nothing's gonna stop him unless he's not healthy. I'm not gonna factor in his skill because he might not play or might get hurt. They got rid of Zach Moss, which is a huge. We're all in. This is your year. We're either getting rid of you and not paying you a dime, or we're going all in on you and you're going to be on a year for the next 3 years. Yeah. This is Jonathan Taylor all in year. I love it. And if Anthony Richardson does good, Jonathan Taylor's going to follow. Number 2, I've been on this guy since he at Iowa State. Breece Hall. He's so unbelievably physical. You just can't tackle him. I can't even describe it. So when he touches the ball, it can go the distance every single time. And for me, he finished. What did he finish last year? 7th. That's with Zach. I mean, with no offensive play, nothing in the world, and all the defense doing all the work. I just don't see how Breece Hall.
I think me and Tate just.
We
just realized something at the same time.
I had Breece Hall last year, and every defense knew it was going to Breece Hall, and they just couldn't stop.
It's the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen. And it's now Aaron Rodgers, the offense going. No, I know, they love it. And my number 1, always going to be number 1, never a doubt in the universe. Christian McCaffrey, you're the GOAT, never not the best running back.
So quickly, that's a great list.
Great list, loved it.
There's something Tate and I think, noticed towards the end there that was missing.
Over Zach Moss.
Yeah, you didn't have Bijan, the ADP 2 for running backs, in your top 10.
Correct.
I need to hear why.
Okay,
I know he's not in the list, but that's the biggest reach.
Let me say first thing first. Last year, I think the average ADP for Bijan for everyone's running backs was 3 or 4. Some people had 4. Some people in our group were higher. Okay. I said I loved him I think he wasn't top 10. I loved him at the 11th or 12th spot. He finished
12.
Exactly what I sniped on.
He got Arthur Smith.
Shut up. He
got Arthur Smith.
He's talking. Everyone had him at 3. I threw out the fact, hey, I still think the team is shit. I don't like the team. Yes, they improved at quarterback. I think that might improve his touchdowns, but I think they're going to be more passing heavy than they were relying a lot on the running game last year, especially the quarterback option. So I think just he might finish at like 8 or 9. Like great, I might be wrong by a couple spots, just like last year when I fucking sniped it. When everyone said 3 or 4,
I like it.
He's going to finish at 11.
All right. Quickly before Mike gives his rebuttal, I'm going to Mike next for running back rankings.
By the way, one more thing. Once again, I don't know if you want to bet this again. Don't forget about Tyler Algier.
Oh my God.
All right, I'm not forgetting. Quickly, because Bijan is a clear 2 and you have him outside your top 10.
Correct.
I think there is a bet to be made here. Do you want to make a bet with me? I'll bet he's in the top 10.
No.
I'll give you.
I'll bet top 5.
I said he could be like. I said.
I was gonna bet 8. I said top 8.
Oh, top 5. Bet you $100.
250.
Yeah, 250. Yeah.
Oh, there you have it, Mike. I yield the floor.
Anyone want to look up Mike's bets on the pod?
No, don't look him up. I love the bet. You snaked my bets. I wanted to bet him top 8. I think he would have gone for it.
No, that.
I could have got.
That.
I could have gone
Top
7.
five.
I would have still.
That top 5.
Top
All right.
5.
That top 5.
I still actually like
Oh my
top-
god, that's so secure.
I actually
oh my
like
god.
He
top-
finished 12 last year. You were saying he was so
easy.
secure for
I
him
like
to
the
finish
top
3.
5.
Dude, he got Arthur Smith.
All right, go ahead.
He has a new offensive coordinator. Doesn't mean it's gonna be good.
Okay, all right. Anyways,
And
let's
you-
get
quarterback's bigger deal.
into logic land. Welcome. I'm your host, Michael Christopher Yoon.
You're not the host.
This is
This is definitely
this
not
is Logic
Logic
Land,
Land.
and I'm your
The
host.
Logic
Land.
Land.
This is the mic show right now.
What did
right
you finish
now.
in fantasy football last year?
All right, shut up.
Oh, okay.
Logic
We're
Land, the
talking
land
about
of no
fantasy football,
logic.
yeah.
All right, Logic Land. So, number 10. This is my wildest take by a mile. I just want.
Give us the logic.
Oh, I
No, I want.
If it's
Logic
No,
Land.
it's A-Chain.
Logic Land.
It's A-Chain.
I like
It is
that.
A-Chain.
I-
I mean, he's
I-
also
I can
staring at my list right
I
now.
swear to God, I didn't see it. I just went with the
I
Dolphins.
mean, it makes sense.
No,
You-
it's
you
A-Chain.
don't-
I think.
Michael's favorite
That's a
offensive
fair
player.
shout.
Well, no,
love
A-Chain
that.
also, dude. A-Chain finished RB5.
I love that.
in fantasy.
Correct.
But he was RB2 on his team. I think obviously he has a window
Wait,
to
wait, he
overtake
did not
most.
Did not finish close to RB5.
No, he's not.
Not even
He
remotely
wasn't top
close.
20.
I mean, I can't do this.
No,
I mean-
no, I thought you were going to talk about Mostert finishing 2, and because he's taking over as RB1, I thought that's right.
Regardless.
He's not top 5.
regardless.
He's not top
All right,
15.
he-
He's not top 15.
All right. Maybe he didn't.
Maybe
but
in the
he,
games played.
Maybe he
What
didn't.
articles
because
you
he
read?
didn't play that many games. So maybe.
That's
Honestly, that
do
actually
the
might be
ESPN
what
stat.
it is.
In the 6 games where the guy was a broken leg and didn't play with the creamsicle in his left hand. You know?
All right.
Yeah.
I like Dolphins RB.
No, I
though.
said
Whatever.
I didn't hate it.
Whatever.
I
I think the guy. Whatever. I think the guy is unbelievably explosive. You've obviously seen what he could do when he
like
breaks
A-Chain.
away. So I have A-Chain at 10. Number 9. It was mentioned by the previous 2, but Travis Etienne. I think this is a little low. Lower than what you guys
9.
had him. I have him at 9, but again,
Mine's a little low.
to be honest, I think I'm kind of just all in on the Jaguars offense right now. I think I've been with Tyler too much because, you know,
Him at
hearing-
9?
Yeah, I'm
He's
all in.
well, I
It's
mean,
all in.
No
No.
Trevor Lawrence. In the
He was
quarterback.
3 last year.
that's
I mean, you're talking disrespect. Ryan he was 12 last year. Ryan
Michael just
doesn't have
said
him top
I'm
10.
all
ETN
in.
is 3. You have him in a 9. What's the more
all
disrespect?
right, all right, all right.
all in
What
on the
is what?
Jags
What is
offense.
what?
I mean, what is up, what is down?
I'm
you
disrespectful,
know,
but I
Yeah.
just call it as it is.
He's
Yeah.
9.
No, I mean,
He snuck in the top 10.
Mike's all in.
He snuck in the top 10.
No,
I'm
remember
all
it.
in.
Welcome
I'm
to
all in.
Logic Land.
I'm your host.
So
I
far,
forgot- no,
two
sorry,
for
I'm your
two,
host.
2 for 2 on Logic Land.
We'll go back
I'm
in the
your
bubble.
host.
We'll go back in the
Let-
bubble.
let-
All right,
let him pick.
back in the bubble. We're going. This kind of pains me that I have him lower than Ryan, but Kyron Williams. The reason why I have him at 8 is
7, 8.
because of Blake Corum. I think McVay really likes running multiple people in the back, like what I said when Tyler
does.
was talking about him.
Inside the 10,
And I think Blake Corum, because as Ryan mentioned, is such a strong, powerful runner, I think he's going to get a lot of those red zone touches that Kyron was getting. For that reason, I think he's going to take away some of those touchdowns and thus fantasy points. Number 7, as mentioned, Rashad White.
Wow.
Super
7.
underrated. And
really
I
underrated.
actually wanted to note this, was it
Wow.
8-week streak that he went on.
Insane.
He did 10.9, 23.9, 15.8, 11.8, 11, 16.6, 19.5, 19.9, 13.7. Literally unbelievable.
With the worst offensive line and rushing team in the entire league.
100%, which, I mean, as
my
Ryan said,
fantasy
they
team.
bolstered it up a little bit. So, let's go Rashad. Number 6, Derrick Henry. The reason why I have Derrick Henry this low is, again, because I think Lamar is so lethal with his legs. I think Derrick Henry is obviously... Actually, I think this is kind of his line in the sand. If he wants to be still considered one of those top running backs, one of those really insane, powerful runners like what Ryan was talking about, I think this is his time to do it under a new insane offense with the Ravens.
I want to point out real quick, just for the pod, when we say this low, his ADP is 9. So 6 is 3 spots above ADP.
Low comparatively to...
To what some other people think.
Correct.
But all I'm saying
Correct.
is his ADP is 9, so 6 would be 3 spots ahead
Okay.
of ADP. So it's high compared to where normal, like the average draft is.
Yes.
But yeah, go ahead.
Yes. So continuing on, I'm going to go to 5, Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, he's the definition of get that son of a bitch off the field. And it's, and it's a joke because he's literally doing too well, so they take him off. I think Montgomery has somewhat to say for himself, but I think Jahmyr Gibbs is clearly the better runner in that backfield. And,
Agreed.
you know, the fact that he's not the clear and above RB1 puts him at 5 for me instead of higher. Number 4, my absolute dog, Saquon Barkley. It kind of pained me to not put him in the top 3, but, you know, welcome to Logic Land.
Logic
So,
Land.
I think similar idea with Derrick Henry. I think Jalen Hurts is still going to get a lot of those tush pushes, a lot of those red zone kind of touchdowns when they're really close. And same idea. If you're not getting touchdowns, you're not getting as many fantasy points. But I think him being on such a solid offense, he still has a lot of fantasy points that he can obtain. And that's not to say he's going to get 0 touchdowns. Like, he's of course going to get a few. Number 3, we're going to go with Breece Hall. Breece Hall being ending RB7 without any quarterback, and now he has one of the best ever in Aaron Rodgers. It obviously opens up that entire field. It allows for his running lanes to become, not the only focus on defenses.
Yeah.
Number 2, I think where exactly Tyler had him and where he deserves. This is actually, I genuinely put, this is not biased because he deserves a number 2 spot.
It's his ADP too.
Yeah, it's Bijan Robinson.
Just like last year.
He's the
same thing.
He is the best receiving back in the league.
Dude, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
He is for sure the best receiving back in the league. He's going to prove it this year.
Oh, so
he got Arthur Smith last year.
In that statement, he's the best and he's going to prove it. So he can't be the best if he's going to prove it. You know what I mean?
He is the best.
He's proving
But he
he's
has
the
to
best.
prove it.
Proving he's the best.
You'll
I'm
see this
calling
year.
it.
He's
It
calling
has
it.
to be shown.
It's a prediction.
Mike
No,
knows
I'm
the
calling.
ability, and he's saying he's going to back it up this season.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's a
100%.
better receiving back than Christian McCaffrey or Jameer
Not even
Gibbs. I
fucking
don't know.
close.
I don't know.
He's
if
done
he is.
nothing.
But
Maybe not
Look up
McCaffrey.
his stats.
Maybe not McCaffrey.
clear best.
But
number
that's
one.
why he's number 2.
All right.
That's
and
literally why he's
one,
number
He's not
2.
better
And
than
number
Saquon.
1 is
The fact that you say he's better than
McCaffrey.
Saquon's psycho.
At
Saquon-
receiving?
At receiving back, he is
Saquon out of the
100%
back.
better.
No, look up any you
fucking
want to
stupid,
look up.
but
Any
okay.
stat. I'm stupid. Look up. You don't know Bijan's stats.
I'll look it
Tell
up.
me Bijan's receiving stats right now. Just take a wild guess. You're saying
Right.
something when you don't even have the logic to fucking back it up. You're just like he's the best running
Ryan,
receiver.
we have money on this. I'm just gonna prove you
but
wrong
you're-
when I
no, but
win
you're saying-
when I
no, but
take
you're-
your money.
it's not- no, this
Oh,
is Mike,
you
that's a
guys
future
got
bet.
money.
That's a future bet. You're talking about stats.
He had
Ryan, what do you-
way
what-
better
what do you want from
receiving, way better receiving stats than Saquon.
Yeah,
last
what do
year.
you want
No,
from
I'm
me?
saying-
The
no, I'm
Giants
saying-
fucking suck.
Not even close.
Oh my god, that's not the. I'm saying you don't even know his stats, and you're arguing. For
I'll
everyone.
tell you the stats so
I
that
did-
people know. Bijan had 487 receiving yards last year with 4 receiving touchdowns. Saquon had 280 receiving yards last year with 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, 1 year.
So
and
he had 200,
less-
200 more, almost.
This is rookie year.
40% increase.
Yeah, it was one year. Saquon had a bad
No,
year.
I just
And
want
also
the
the worst
stats.
team
You
in-
can
All right.
take whatever
more-
conclusions you want.
Regardless, that's my list. Christian McCaffrey at 1.
Okay,
All
wait. I
Yeah.
mean,
Bijan is
one
not the-
second. Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, my head hurts.
No,
from
that
this nonsense.
that was an
Okay,
electric list. I
but-
do like the Bijan over Saquon for receiving.
Okay,
that's
but-
the one
but
thing.
just-
That's
Okay,
Line in
but
the
just
sand.
just like Ryan, there was a player missing on that list.
I mean, I'm not ever putting Jonathan Taylor. in
Oh,
there.
that's who
I
was
don't give a
missing. Oh,
fuck.
I didn't even think about that.
I mean, he
I mean, Mike just
also he definitely did have
biased.
Jonathan Taylor in there. Yeah, I'm at 5.
No,
talking
he
about-
had
You're-
Jonathan
you're-
Taylor. You had Taylor missing. He had Bijan missing.
Oh.
Those are
Oh.
two like of the consensus
Oh, I am.
top couple running backs. I mean,
Yeah.
the average ADP right now is McCaffrey 1, Bijan 2, Brees 3, Jonathan Taylor 4. So him excluding Bijan at 2 and
Love
you
it.
excluding Taylor at 4,
Taylor
both
sucks.
pretty crazy.
Taylor's like been RB1 before. Bijan hasn't been in the top 10 before.
God,
So I'm
jeez.
just betting on
Only
Yes,
one
but-
season.
Logic. Yeah.
Yeah.
top 5.
All right.
Logic Land.
Tate,
He's so
again.
trash.
are we going to Tate Logic Land or is this the Wild West right now?
I mean, if that was the Logic Land, we're in the Wild West.
All right, you're in the Wild West. Let's
Oh,
hear.
yeah.
Let's hear your top 10.
I'm a little surprised. No one said this name yet. Number 10, I've got Josh Jacobs.
I love
Okay.
that.
That's fine.
Although I respect,
Michael,
I respect
Michael
every-
allows it.
Yeah, I allow it.
he loves it. I respect everyone else's opinions too because it's crazy. You could interchange a lot of players
Whole lot of
from probably like 7 to 15, right? So
There's a lot.
there's a lot of good running backs in the league. People can argue
What are you
for
doing
whatever
over
they.
there, Mike?
So I love the Josh Jacobs
Oh,
at
what's
10.
Mike
He
doing?
keeps trying to look at my list. I don't know. He's giving me the
Oh,
eye.
I mean, he's been looking. He looks at my list all the time.
But he's like giving
I'm
me like the
literally
little
just-
wink in his eye, and I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Thanks.
All right,
Mike's-
Tate,
we
I'm
got
sorry.
it on camera.
Tate,
I'm sorry for
his interruptions.
Off camera in the corner, Mike's.
I mean, Mike's my enemy.
No,
I mean,
Tate,
we already
I love it,
established.
dude.
Tate, Mario
the
literally
Colts in
can't
here.
pay
I love it.
attention, and so we just need to move past his
right.
attention
Yeah.
deficits.
No, we're just gonna keep rolling. Tate.
It's right.
Okay, all right.
keep going, Tate.
My
Keep
train
Onward.
of thought coming back. All right, here we go. I have Jahmyr Gibbs at 9.
Oh,
Love
Um,
that.
No, it's really not that low. I think everyone's just wildly like bullish on him.
ADP 5.
David Montgomery, year after year after year after year, even on the Bears, people were still saying,
The Bears.
yeah, people were saying, oh, David, like he's got to take a step back. David Montgomery takes a step, but he was so much value every single year. David Montgomery gets so much volume. He's a volume back. I don't know why they would change what they did last year. It was such a perfect thing. You throw Jahmyr Gibbs in there, and then you keeps defense guessing, right? It's just that electric back. Obviously, I think Jahmyr Gibbs, he's more upside receiving. He could move into a bigger role than last year. So I love him. I love him at 9. Number 8, Travis Etienne. I feel like I don't have a lot to say about Travis Etienne. Just I love at 8. Number 7, I think this is the perfect spot for Derrick Henry because he is getting older. I'm not quite as bullish as Ryan, obviously, but he's Derrick Henry. He's gonna produce on one of the best offenses in the league. Number 6, Kyron Williams. Oh my gosh, I picked him up last year in fantasy football.
Oh, so
wow!
crazy.
Let me tell you,
best pickup
by far. He was electric. Love Kyron
really
Williams.
absurd.
Crazy.
He should be a good again this year. Number 6. Number 5, I got my boy Jonathan Taylor.
Outside Mike's top 10.
Gross.
Outside Mike's top 10. I've got him one spot lower than
Outside my
ADP.
top 20.
So
I take Khalil Herbert
Exactly
over
how he
his ass.
finishes a fantasy is how he's talking.
he just has to be a top 5 running back, especially if he's healthy. He's just too talented not to be. Number 4, I got Saquon Barkley.
Right where I have him.
I'm really, really bullish on Jalen Hurts. I think Saquon Barkley is just in such a good offense. We saw DeAndre Swift run wild behind that offensive line. I mean, I know Kelsey's gone, but that offensive line still has most of their pieces.
Yeah.
That's a
And
big hit, though.
they're a very good football team. They're winning a lot of games. They'll be running the ball a lot.
Yeah.
And if they want to keep Jalen Hurts healthy, they'll keep him off the ground. And Saquon Barkley, love it. Number 3, I'm gonna have Bijan Robinson.
Ooh.
Low.
He was previously number 2. I mean obviously Christian McCaffrey number 1. So I have Breece Hall number 2, Bijan number 3. I think Bijan the talent's there. I think he could have a great year. I think the Falcons are going to take a huge step up, and then Breece Hall, he's a freak. Honestly, I'm not gonna say a lot about Breece Hall. I'm so excited to watch him play this year.
Me too.
Hopefully, just
Same.
Aaron Rodgers stay healthy, be
Yeah.
a good team. Love Breece Hall and then Christian McCaffrey at 1.
It's gonna be so fun to watch.
Yeah, CMC 1 I think has been
Mario's
sweet.
gonna take
All right,
Jackson's
Mario,
low
we
right
saved
there.
you for last.
Come on,
Save
baby.
me
You've been
last.
holding your thoughts. You've been
Bring it
listening to
on.
Mike. Mike's been trying to look at your list.
I know.
I don't know how much you've seen,
Dude.
but go ahead and start with 10.
He's only looking
Mike's
at the
a
wide
peeker.
receiver
He's
list.
a peeker,
I have
don't
the
worry.
running backs.
He's a
turned
peeker.
over.
Don't worry.
Yeah, no, he's a
Ty,
peeker.
Ty loves to make wild accusations.
All right, Mario said you were looking at his list.
Everyone likes to make wild accusations.
Everyone. All right,
Everyone.
Mario.
Everyone, Logic Land.
All right,
Number 10.
all right, yeah. Time
Come
for these
on.
top 10 running backs.
Number
Bring it
10.
on.
All right, starting off the list, number 11, honorable mention, Alvin Kamara.
It was my
all
honorable
right,
mention.
all right,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
fair.
No,
That's
yeah.
fair.
He's-
AK is a dog.
AK number 11, had to put him in there. Number 10, I wanted to put this guy higher, but I felt like putting him at 10 just felt right because I think no matter what, he's going to be a top 10 running back. I just don't know when he's going to come back. Could be week 2, week 4, week 5.
Rub-a-dub.
Rub-a-dub, Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just too good. He's
Yeah.
just too good. I had him last
That's
season
tough.
before he got
He could be
injured.
value like crazy.
No, I mean, his
You're gonna get him
Week
in like
5 value.
the
Yeah.
8th, 9th,
like
10th
like
round.
literally, I had him before he got injured. Week 1, 19 points. Week 2, 19 points. Injured.
Oh, he's him. Yeah.
I mean, it's just like
I mean, that also
When
that,
he's healthy, he's top
that
3,
team for
top
running
2.
back.
Yeah.
that team for running backs.
Like,
is
I just- I
insane.
had-
You're looking
I-
at Ford last year.
I had to put him there.
Those numbers.
Number 9, I got Joe Mixon. I just think,
Mixing it up.
yeah, similar to what Tyler said earlier. Just I think he has
Yeah.
to be top 10, especially on this offense. I think he's going to have a really efficient year. I don't expect a lot of like rushing yards. He probably decreases a little bit, but I think a lot of touchdowns, a lot of pass catching, just like high efficiency. Number 8, I got Mr. Travis Etienne. Tyler's wearing the jersey himself.
TN.
A couple people had him at that 8-9 number. I'm a little surprised, but
I was thinking put him higher, but for some reason, I just feel like the offense isn't going to be as good this year.
wow. Okay.
Not like it's going to regress a ton, but I just think he went nuclear last year.
He did.
I think they just give him a little bit of what the Packers did with Aaron Jones, how they just would like
That's what Ryan
take
said.
a-
not
Take
use
a-
him,
take
yeah,
a little off.
like rest him,
if you're trying to make a playoff.
pace
Yeah, no
him,
one cares about fantasy football.
pace him for a season, not like run him into the ground.
Yeah.
Number 7, I got Jonathan Taylor.
Ooh, wow, that is.
I think he's going to
Actually
be
not
good. I think that's about where he's going to be, 6 or 7. He could go either way. I just felt like I'm not big on Anthony Richardson. I'm really not. I think
Thank God.
That's fair.
Taylor is a beast, and he's going to be top 10. I just don't see Richardson being that good, and
That's fair
I
if you
think
think.
he probably takes a little bit away from Taylor.
Okay.
Number 6, I got Kyron Williams. Not much to say. Dude's a stud.
Yeah.
He's going to get a full season.
I'm a dog for
Rams offense obviously puts up a lot of points.
Good this year.
Should be good. Number 5, got Jahmyr Gibbs. Basically,
like
the guy I mentioned at number 11, Alvin Kamara. He's basically playing on 2 teams.
Reincarnated.
Yeah, reincarnated. He's just special.
Get that
literally
son of
just
a bitch
special.
off the field.
Yeah, like Mike said, he's too good. They have to get him off the field. Number 4, I got Derrick Henry. I just think
Thank you.
That's
Wow.
high.
no, I really, really think he's another one who's going to have a really efficient season, and I think he's going to be well rested. He's not going to be needed to run 25 times in a game. You
That's
know,
fair.
Unless it's like to close out a playoff game or something. But so I don't know. I just think he's going to have a really good year. Great O line, great offense. Number
Do that
3,
thing.
Saquon Barkley.
My dog.
I'm really high on Saquon this year. I don't know if that's bad, but
My dog.
no,
Every
I
single player that's named, Mike goes,
My
dog.
That's my boy.
Yeah.
That's my
That's
boy.
really my G though.
yeah, no, Saquon's
Really
a
my
stud. He's
Can't see.
better, literally better than Bijan in anything.
Thank you.
Pass
It's not
catching,
even the sweat.
rushing,
Out the
touchdowns.
window. Out the window.
Yeah.
Out the window.
Yeah, it's just right.
You
You're right.
jump,
No.
jump
But,
out the window.
but like Tyler said earlier, in a vacuum, he's one of the best in the league. Running behind a great offensive line. Saquon at 3. Number 2, I think for me, it had to be Brees Hall. It's just, dude's an absolute freak. And number 1, Christian McCaffrey.
yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Crazy.
You a dog.
Another
So
list
bad.
without Bijan.
You
in
a
it.
dog.
So
Fine.
bad.
He finished 12 last
Another
year.
list without Bijan in it.
I
Well, I
actually-
didn't know. Well, I didn't know where to put him in. I guess Bijan would be 12. I don't know.
That's what, like he was last year. Exactly where he was last year. It's a good call.
Well, like who would he be over on this list?
That's
Like
what I said.
everyone except for
That's what
Christian
everyone said
McCaffrey.
last year. Everyone said
No,
the same
it's
thing
not.
last year.
It's not.
They said it. You said 3 or 4,
No,
which was only
no,
two
it
other
wasn't
players.
3.
No,
he
no,
was
Tyler.
he was ADP 4 last year.
Tyler, at what draft pick are you? 7?
Correct.
Would you rather have Brees Hall or Bijan Robinson?
Bijan Robinson.
Oh.
Yes.
I
I'm
mean,
sure.
I would
No,
have
no,
run
I mean,
this.
no,
I said-
that's fine. I just wanted to know. We just disagree. I mean,
I mean,
that's fine.
I
That's
won't
fine.
be able to draft him there.
no,
he
I'm
will
just
be
saying,
taken
like, if
before
you had
seven.
the
Yeah, the
option,
option.
if you just like, if someone said,
Oh,
hey,
yes. If he falls to me, 100%.
I have him at 3, but I'm here for the slander.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't get me
It's not
wrong.
slander. It's
I have
just
no.
slander.
I have no horse in this race.
Brees is clearly, in my opinion, like I just
No, I agree. No, I 100% agree. I
like
agree.
we see black, he sees white. Like
No,
I
think
think
Brees Hall
Brees
is
is
No, I think
fantastic.
Brees, I like Brees.
I don't
Hall.
even
Top
think it's
3
close.
running back. Top
Yeah.
3.
No, I have no horse in
With
this
the
race.
no
I
top
have
10, I
no
love.
vested interest in
I mean-
Bijan or Brees Hall.
Yeah.
I like they're both just like good college players to me that just got in the league and are
Exactly how
talented
I
young
feel.
guys. Not how you feel.
Exactly how I
Bro,
feel.
what?
No, but all I'm saying is, I get you can put it in not top 10 for the show, but I don't actually think you guys believe this.
Yeah, no.
What do you?
Like, no, I'm dead
I
serious.
said it last year.
No, okay. Last year is so much different than this year. If you don't recognize that, I mean, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate.
I think they're
here.
gonna pass
If you don't,
more instead of being run heavy like they were last year. So they might not. He might get, like I said, he might get more touchdowns, but he's not gonna get more rushing.
Wait, you
yards.
think the change in offensive scheme and adding Kirk Cousins hurts Bijan Robinson?
No, I
or
think-
keeps him where he
I
is.
he
just
might go
keeps
from
him-
12 to 11.
I said he might go to 8, but I'm just using everything that was from last year. I'm saying I don't think he's as godly as people think, and I think it's fair that if he finished 12 last year, he can finish 9.
There's
or
a
8
0% 0% chance he finishes RB 1 or 2.
I mean, I
Do you want
I
to make the
agree.
250 bet for him to end top 5?
I mean, you got to bet that if you don't think he's top.
Yeah,
10.
I mean, if you,
What?
He doesn't
I
have
think
to
he's
bet
gonna end top 5.
Top
Will you
so-
bet him $250? Bijan's not top 5.
All right, I
Top
just want
5.
500.
Same-
Yeah,
Right.
same as
I just
yeah.
want $500. Nice.
$500 worth
Just
of
like
bets.
last
I mean,
year,
you see
Mike.
it here.
Just like last
Fantastic.
year.
Wow.
It's
Sick.
getting heated
Put up
on
all
the
the-
line.
You guys are
Sure.
actually
Is his
so
ADP
ignorant.
2 or 3?
How are we ignorant?
Two.
No, no,
You
his
guys are
ADP
so
is
ignorant.
Mike,
clear
explain how we're ignorant.
This
No,
year?
just-
Clear to.
Okay.
You'll
Like,
see.
explain how
You'll
we're
see.
ignorant.
No,
It's not
you'll see.
Look
You'll
at
see.
pull up every live bet
You'll
from
see.
last year.
No, all I'm
Mike,
saying-
lose,
no,
lose,
you'll
lose,
see.
lose,
Well, all I'm
lose,
saying-
win, lose, lose, lose,
There's
lose,
difference.
lose.
There's
I
a
think you'll
difference.
see
though,
a lot
in-
of change too closer. Like I think you'll see people start moving up. I don't think
don't just
Bijan
become
his-
better
I
because
don't
of
think his
quarterbacks
ADP
added.
will drop that much lower, but I think I wouldn't be surprised if his ADP like right before like NFL seasons around like 3 or 4.
Mike,
There's no
I
chance
just-
he goes outside the top 10.
I think no matter what happens,
he's a very
Mike,
clear
you
four.
have to
He'd
bet.
have to get. What do you mean?
Why not? Why can't it go McCaffrey, Brees, Tyreek?
No,
Hill?
I'm saying. Oh no, Brees isn't getting selected too. No, receivers
why?
are going 2, 3, and 4. I'm saying his ADP for running backs.
Oh,
I'm
oh,
talking
oh, I thought you
ADP
said there's no way he comes outside the top 3.
for
Actually,
running
I am
back
curious.
ratings.
What is his
Running back
overall
ratings.
ADP? Like overall.
I'll tell you right now.
Because I actually haven't looked at that. I've only seen.
Yeah, 5.
his-
Because it's there's 3 receivers.
Oh my God.
CD,
Oh
Tyreek,
my
and
God.
Jamar.
I don't think
Give
Brees.
me Bijan
I
at
don't
5.
think Brees.
Give me Bijan at
Well, no,
5.
all I'm saying is, I agree. I didn't have Josh Allen in the top 7 quarterbacks last year. Obviously he went 1. So I'm no stranger to making lists for shock value.
I didn't make it for shock. He finished 12 last year.
No, but okay.
I called it exactly out. I said 11 or 12.
I would rather have
Bijan
CMC
five.
over Bijan. I'd have Brees over
I'd
Bijan.
rather
I
have
have
CMC
Saquon.
over
I'd rather have
Bijan.
Etienne. I'd rather have Saquon. I'd rather have Derrick
Etienne.
Henry. I'm naming normal people.
Jonathan Taylor. I don't know.
Jameer Gibbs. That's normal. It's those are 8 players that
I feel
easily
like-
could be better than him.
Would anyone be shocked if Jameer Gibbs finished
No.
ahead of Bijan? He'd be
No.
like,
I
oh
have,
shit.
He did
I
it.
have Jameer Gibbs 3.
Okay.
Or wait.
Would anyone be shocked
Yeah,
if Saquon's
Bijan
better than
too.
Bijan?
Yeah.
Would anyone be shocked if Derrick Henry's better than Bijan?
Yes, I would be shocked.
He finished 4 and 5 last 2 years.
I'd be shocked if Derrick Henry this
He
year.
finised 4 and 5 last 2
under-
years.
But you have to
If
understand.
Derrick Henry finishes 5 or 6 and Bijan finishes
Finishes
8,
I'd be like, oh, okay.
I'd be surprised.
Great.
That's what I'm saying. I'd be surprised if that happened. I think it's just kind of nuts to not acknowledge the change in situation, how crazy the difference in strength of schedule.
I did. I said he can go from 12 to 8.
The Ravens have one of the toughest schedules, and he's going to be utilized significantly less. Granted, Derrick Henry's amazing. The Falcons have, I think, the easiest schedule or the second easiest schedule in the NFL, and got Kirk Cousins, which is
Massive.
and offensive coordinator change. I don't think OC change is that important because they got Kirk
Oh, I
Cousins.
disagree.
But I
It
just
could be
think-
worse.
I think
Just
looking
saying
at
out there.
last year
I
and just thinking
disagree.
he's 12
Very
last year, he's 12 again. That's
But I think
That's kinda crazy.
But saying that his team changed, also you could say a lot of stuff in the league changed. What if Josh Jacobs has a phenomenal season on the Packers? What if Aaron Jones kills it because they can't really throw the ball?
no.
What if
I mean, there's
what if A-Chain
they're
is
all
actually
predictions. Every prediction is
What
just
if
as
the
valid.
or
as
what if
theirs.
Derrick
Nick
was the
Chubb,
second.
Nick Chubb, who didn't play, all of a sudden's a top 10 that bumps a spot out?
No, we're arguing that you're telling us we're doing it for show business. We're actually just telling you things that could happen.
No,
Same way you're telling us.
I
things
believe
that
I
you.
think there's a lot more possibilities where he's not top 5 than.
I'm
where
just
he's-
saying.
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of focus on it because out of any position ranking for any of the positions we're doing, I think this is the biggest difference in ADP on where someone will have him on the list out of anyone. So this is probably the biggest discrepancy we'll have on any player.
Where was
Maybe.
Dak?
So it's
quarterback?
important. 8,
Oh, it was 8.
I believe so. I can double check, but I think everyone had him
Wait,
in that.
where was Jonathan Taylor?
Dak was 8. Wow,
Where was
look at that
Jonathan
guess.
Taylor?
Look at that guess. Jonathan Taylor for running back.
Yeah.
Like 7.
I think I said he was 4, right?
Okay, Michael has him at 11.
No,
I don't have
I
him.
said this is the 2 to.
I don't have him in my
off,
top
I said
20.
2 to off the list was the biggest discrepancy that multiple people would have on the belief that people would have on the show. That's why I want to talk about it.
Oh, well, Mike has.
You should wait for
Jonathan,
receivers.
I'll
You
say
should see
top
where I
20.
have Ricky Pearsall.
I'm excited for the receiver
No, I'm just
ranking.
kidding.
And yeah, no, it's one thing for one person to have an opinion, but for 2 people to have him off the list, I thought was significant to focus on
I love
because
that.
he's
It was great.
he's
I
also
made
thought I was
the
gonna be
list.
by
there's a
myself
pretty
like last
significant
year's.
gap between Bijan and Brees Hall on a lot of people's lists.
I made the
I was
list
actually
and
the
I-
opposite. I'm
yeah.
Brees Hall. Brees Hall had the same worst situation, in my opinion, last year than Bijan, and performed better than him in every.
No, yeah, Brees Hall is
offense.
amazing. I love Brees Hall, but that was an interesting argument. I mean, wow, that just goes to show you again why us 5 are sitting up here. We rarely agree with each other and are
That
often
was crazy. I thought there was
completely
no
opposites.
chance anyone would agree with me.
I thought there was no chance. I didn't even
Thank
think
you,
that was
finally.
possible. Even for you 2, I didn't think it was possible to keep
Really?
off the top 10.
Last year I did it. It was easy. Free
Well,
money.
that's just so different. That's just so different. But it's fine. Tate, before people go ahead and check out the rest of the episodes in this series, if you haven't already, we've done tight ends, we've done quarterbacks. This is running backs. Next episode we're posting is wide receivers. Tell them what they need to go
But
do.
Drake London though. But
If you
Jesus Christ.
you love the entertainment, you love the bickering, little arguments, the position rankings. Choose who you want. Leave us a like, comment,
Tell
subscribe.
us your top 10.
Tell us your
yeah.
top 10. Share with a friend. Turn that notification bell on. We got all these videos coming out soon. We'll see you guys next week.
Let's see you
Yeah, wait.
next week.
bang.
Bye.